Welcome along, everyone. For our existing viewers, you'll know that the purpose of the monthly Facebook Live Q&A with OpenCorp is for us to take questions from cyberspace, answer anything you want to know about investing. For our new viewers, that's exactly why we're here. Punch all of your questions to do with investing into the panel. We'll be working our way through those. And you've got the benefit of about 85 years collective investing experience tonight. We've got Q&A regulars, my business partners, Cam McClellan and Matt Lewison. Welcome, guys.
Thank you, Martin.
We've got a particularly special surprise this month. We've got a client of ours, Talar Wadeson. Welcome, Talar.
Thanks, Talar. Welcome aboard.
Thanks.
So Talar's, I'll let you talk about your journey, Talar, but you and Michael doing great things. You're about to settle on your next property next week, and really exciting to see where your journey's taken you. You're the epitome of focus and working towards your goals and understanding how you can best improve your situation and taking action. So all of those things particularly relevant in today's climate. So why don't you give everyone an update on who you are and your investment journey today?
I should first, before sorry, Talar, and we were talking before, and Talar gave us a very casual understanding of a couple of mistakes she made early days, which she brushed over and laughed about. But I know from personal experience, when you make a mistake like that, it's easy to brush over when it's 10 or 15 years later, but at the time it's devastating. And so yeah, give us a snapshot of that, because yeah, you've got a good spirit, put it that way.
So I'm married with 4 kids, and my husband and I have always been interested in property. My husband probably bought his first property when he was about 22, and I was about 24 when I bought my first property. I've been looking for some time, and we had a door-to-door salesman come about the property in Sydenham, and we thought, hey, well, I'm looking. We kind of looked in the area and it looked good. So I thought, let's go for it, and signed up with them, not really knowing anything about this guy or the company or anything else. Had issues with the
door to door, fair enough.
Yeah, I know. I was 24. I was young and naive. So,
Right.
and yeah, from the build to settlement to getting tenants in, it was just issue after issue after issue. We're stuck with it because, when you invest in property, it's for the long haul, it's not for the short term. But then we got married and we bought our own place, and the banks wouldn't give us a loan unless we sold the other 2 properties. So we kind of did that. And it's kind of a relief in some ways, because the property that I bought had caused us so many issues that I was just glad to get rid of it. We lost a lot of money on it in the end, but it was just kind of like a weight off our shoulders, because it was just one thing after another. I would never go through door-to-door salesmen ever again for buying something on property.
Very good. Very cool.
But that kind of put us off the investment journey for quite a number of years, probably over 10 years. My husband works in construction, and he had a guy come out to on site and just talk to guys going, construction owners are some of the most well-paid, but yet they don't seem to do well. What are they doing with all their money? And so it got us sort of thinking about property again, which is what we've always kind of thought to. And we ended up buying a property through him, which we still own. It's an apartment in Northcote. It's going okay, but it's an apartment and there's issues. You've got body corporate. There's these extra fees that you're paying for services that you're not receiving. And while it's gone okay and we've held on to it, I think buying the house and land package is far better in terms of longer term growth. We're always kind of bettering ourselves through looking at investment, trying to get financial knowledge as much as possible. And that's when we came across OpenCorp. We purchased the book, My 4-Year-Old, the Property Investor, and got onto OpenCorp through them. And so we had them come out to our house and just chat to us a little bit about what they do. And I think what sort of drew me to OpenCorp was the belief that, the guys are all working in there, and everything, all the knowledge and everything they share with you, they're part of they believe in themselves, and they're all taking the same journey. Like, they bought 3 properties using that process. And I guess that was the thing that sort of drew me more, was these guys are actually doing what they're preaching. It's not just, we're just selling this because we think it's great. They're actually doing it themselves. And that's what sort of drew us to them. So we bought our first property through them. a couple of years ago. We both turned 40 this year and had big plans for an overseas trip to Europe with our kids, and that all sort of got through.
At-home birthdays.
Yeah, both had iPhone birthdays. It was great. Yeah. But then we kind of thought, well, what do we do? Let's see if we can purchase the next property. You know, let's just set us up for the future. And so we got onto Michael and looked at our finances, and we were able to purchase the next one. So we settled next week on our next.
Fantastic. The some of the fears that would have festered up and become reality when you purchased the first property and it all went pear-shaped. It's a big leap of faith to go and do it again. Do you know what I mean? So basically, you've been through it 3 different times in different forms of success. Talk us some of the, as you educated yourself, some of the due diligence that you did that gave you a peace of mind that you were making a better choice the next time.
I guess it's more sort of, don't just jump at the first opportunity that comes on. Like you really want to be doing research and not being naive about it. Like it's a huge step forward, purchasing property and investing, but it's doing research, going by recommendations, looking at people. So we'd spoken to a few different people and researched a bit into OpenCorp before we had invited them into our house. But like I said, it was just talking to people that have done it through your system, through OpenCorp, and knowing that these guys are actually doing it. They're not just here just to do the hard sell, which is the first experience that I had. It was, the hard sell. And yes, I was looking at property at the time, but I didn't really think too much into it. So the next time it was kind of really doing a little bit more research, and purchasing the next property through OpenCorp was an easy step because it was just such a smooth transition. Nat and everyone from the team of OpenCorp just made every process of the way really simple, easy to understand. They were a phone call away. They were very quick to get back to us. And so that just made things really quite easy. And it was a nice process the first time. Even getting tenants in, there was no issues. It just seemed like it was such a smooth transition. So it was a no-brainer to go through OpenCorp for a second property. And we've recommended it to family and friends since then as well. I've got a cousin who's purchasing his property as we speak. He's signed contracts and everything as well, and friends looking into the journey as well. So if I didn't believe in it, it's not something I'd be recommending to friends and family.
Oh, beautiful. And appreciate that. I know we get over 50% of our business is through repeat and referral, so we only win if our clients win. But something you said before really rang true. Most people, when they think of purchasing their first or even their second property or even multiple, some people, they're literally thinking about which is the property I'm going to purchase. One thing you said before, which rang true to me when I was first buying properties and going through the process and finding all the mistakes that occur along the way, buying the actual property and finding the property itself is such a small part. While there's a huge process we go through to analyse the markets and the areas and the properties now to get down to the best performing properties, getting your finance and doing the build and getting tenants, and there's issues and risks at every point along the way. And I think that's what a lot of people don't understand, that having a process in place to overcome all those small hurdles along the way, because it's a very painful process. If all those little things are frustrating you, when you sit back at the end of it, you're going, it's just not worth the time. So there's a larger picture that people need to take into account when they're investing, for sure.
Absolutely.